Welcome to Bruce Hurwitz Presents Meet the Experts. I'm your host, Bruce Hurwitz of Hurwitz Strategic Staffing. You can find us on the web at hsstaffing.com. I hope you'll consider us for all your staffing, career counseling, and speech writing needs. I am delighted to be joined today by Rick DellaRatta. We will be discussing using cryptocurrency as grant awards. Meet the Experts is sponsored by P&K CPAs. P&K is a full-service accounting firm. They provide accounting and consulting services to businesses ranging from startups to small and mid-cap companies to nonprofits as well as high-net-worth individuals. Contact them today for a free consultation at pk-cpas.com or call them at 973-882-8810. They will be happy to be of service. Rick, welcome. I was going to say welcome to the show, but I can say welcome back to the show. You're a return guest.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Great to be back with you.
Take a minute or two and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Well, my name is Rick DellaRatta, and I used to be a full-time jazz musician only. And then on 9/11, I wrote a poem called Jazz for Peace. And I've been trying to live up to the words of that poem ever since. And since then, I've been using the art form of jazz to help outstanding causes. And we've been very fortunate so far to help over 850 of the world's most outstanding causes over the past 20 years, and leading us to constant improvements. And the latest improvement, which everyone is so excited about, is actually a cryptocurrency token called the Jazz for Peace Authentic Philanthropic Token, which we're going to add to our grant awards to help outstanding causes even more than we've already been doing.
Take a minute and tell us about Jazz for Peace.
Well, it started on 9/11 because I happened to be watching the events less than a quarter of a mile away from the roof of my East Village apartment. And the only thing I could do was grab a pen and paper and write down words. And that turned out to be a poem called Jazz for Peace. And basically, I recited that poem at a huge jazz festival called the Savannah Jazz Festival that I was headlining at only a few weeks later with great jazz musicians such as Eddie Gomez and Lenny White. It was actually us three, a trio. And then I put that to music a couple of weeks later for a quartet performance I had with Eddie Gomez, Lenny White, and Paquito de Rivera. And the press came out, you know, DellaRatta starts concert out with Jazz for Peace. And one thing led to another. The next thing I knew, I was performing at the United Nations, uniting Israeli, Palestinian, and American jazz musicians. And from that started a benefit concert series, which has also, as a sideline to that, has been educational programs in the schools and musical instrument donation program. But the benefit concert series has reached over 850 events all around the world, every continent. And that has now led us to where we are now, where we are adding and making it more and more of a profoundly positive difference on the grant recipient.
Now, what is cryptocurrency?
Well, cryptocurrency is tied to something called the blockchain. And blockchain technology is very powerful. Basically, right now, believe it or not, everyone is trying to adapt to the blockchain. Banks and finance and transactions because of the power of that network. It kind of maybe goes back to the days when there was cash, and then people, all of a sudden there was a credit card. Well, what do I need a credit card for? Well, after a while, you saw everybody using credit cards and things like that. And nowadays, you see often non-cash purchases being more than cash purchases. Well, this is the same kind of an adaptation that's kind of, just becoming more and more standardized each and every day. and currencies started to be formed on the blockchain. And one was this crazy idea called Bitcoin. And of course, people thought, what is this? Sounds like a crazy thing and all that. And now you've got a situation where you've got a guy basically offering his town $70 million to try and dig up a computer where he has Bitcoins that he mined through his computer that are now worth $380 million. And Bitcoin today has hit a high of $44,000 just for one coin that used to sell for less than $1. So hence the Jazz for Peace coin, which is actually the very first philanthropic token.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. Let's start with the blockchain.
Yes.
As I understand it, a good analogy for blockchain would be an Excel spreadsheet. And you cannot make any changes to the information you enter into that Excel spreadsheet once you save it. The only way
That's good.
That's good?
Go ahead.
Okay.
That's good so far.
Okay. Now, since this is dealing with economics and finance, the fact that I'm doing well is in and of itself a minor miracle. So let me continue, and hopefully I won't show my ignorance or stupidity, as the case may be. Okay, so you've got this spreadsheet, and now on that spreadsheet, you are going to purchase a Bitcoin. And you're going to give this Bitcoin to Jane. And Jane now owns that Bitcoin, and no one can touch that Bitcoin. No one can change that Bitcoin except for Jane. Correct?
Well, except for Jane. You're right. Jane can only spend that Bitcoin once she has it in her wallet.
She has one Bitcoin. That's it. She can't change it to two.
She cannot change it to two. She can just spend.
She could buy another Bitcoin on her own. That'd be fine. But your Bitcoin that she now owns, the Bitcoin that you gave her, is her property, and no one can take it away from her.
That's true.
And that Bitcoin is held on her computer.
Well, it depends on where she wants to hold it, but it's held in a digital wallet.
Okay, but you gave the example of the man who has hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin but can't access them because his computer is who knows where.
Yes, well, he did that in 2013, so we've evolved a lot. At that time, it was on his hard drive, but nowadays you can access a digital wallet from your phone. In other words, the chance of that specific, new things can happen now, but that happening, that would be rare that would happen today. I haven't heard of something like that happening, for recently.
So that scenario is a thing of the past.
I think that specific scenario, but Bitcoins have gotten lost. They have gotten lost because people forget these code words, or there's certain, you get a certain amount of words that you can, if you forget your passcode, you can still recover the Bitcoins. And if you lose a certain amount of things, you cannot retrieve your coin. So there is an irretrievable stage that you could find yourself at if you make a few mistakes.
So Jazz for Peace awards grants for what?
What we do is a benefit concert, at no cost to you. That's first and foremost. And secondly, we provide the staffing and the expertise and the guidance, to make that event a sustainable success. Hopefully something that benefits you for years to come. And what we do is we transfer the knowledge that we've gained from all of these past 20 years now of events, and all that we've learned from all of these great nonprofits. I mean, if you go to our testimonials, you'll see a testimonial from, the Special Olympics or the UNICEF or the Red Cross or, Habitat for Humanity, so many, and we've learned from them. So we have a collective amount of knowledge, and we try to help that organization in a sustainable way that helps them from years to come. And it's
What does
what we do
sustainable
is
mean?
it's like what we do, it's called an empowerment tree. So when I say sustainable, think of a tree, okay? A tree is something that is very successful, far more successful than we are as a species. And basically, in growing that tree, okay, we want to accomplish certain things. One thing we want to accomplish for an outstanding cause is we would like to thank and reward all of their supporters. Why? Because we run across over and over and over again, this is the same thing, rinse and repeat, Bruce. Outstanding causes with exhausted donors. Literally, the poor people are like, please help us. We don't want to be the only ones keeping this organization afloat every single year, okay? So we want to reward them. Those people deserve a reward, believe me, Bruce, they deserve it. So we want to thank, reward, and rejuvenate those supporters. That's first. Secondly, we want to grow that group, okay? That needs to be bigger. And the supporters are the ones that will tell you, hey, Jazz for Peace, can you help us? We want thousands more of us. We don't want to be the only people. We want more. So we want to grow that. And we use techniques to grow that. One of the best techniques is called a VIP Guest of Honor experience, where we allow these VIPs who are being honored at this event to bring their friends, bring their family, bring their people that they bowl with on a Wednesday or whatever they do, bring them to also, get the red carpet treatment and welcome them, usher them into a wonderful event. And I know I don't want to make this too long, but honestly, it's tiered. It grows from there to the branches. Those are the roots.
I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I was a fundraiser for over 10 years. And what you're describing is fundraising 101. All right. We would have an event and there would be a VIP tier where you would meet with the guest of honor and have your photo taken. And then there'd be everybody else. And everybody else would be in the room and they'd get to, if he or she made themselves available, shake hands, take a picture, whatever. There were no selfies in those days.
Right. Now, Bruce, let's say it's somebody, not you, but somebody who doesn't even know that. You know this, but somebody who doesn't know that. We have videos, and you can click on a video on our website and watch me, because I would be the person they'd all be meeting in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And here I am meeting them so you can see it for yourself.
That's fine. But that's not what I'm getting at. What you're telling me is that Jazz for Peace, in my terminology, is the honoree for my event, which is my way of thanking my major donors. And the gift that I'm giving them to show my appreciation and to entice others to join is Jazz for Peace.
That's partially correct. Correct. But as we grow the tree now, the only thing I've told you about so far is the roots. And believe me, just the roots themselves are a big help to an organization, a big help to thank those supporters and grow that donor base. That's a huge breath of fresh air for many outstanding causes out there. But that's only the start now, because now you've got those roots planted. Now we can grow the branches. And one of the very first branches is local sponsors at the local level, okay? So these sponsors come on board. They want to be a part of this, okay? And now, hopefully, they're making a connection, a long-term connection with this outstanding cause through this grant, okay? So they sponsor, and they're sponsoring often things that the VIPs are also receiving. So you have a VIP coming, let's say, to the VIP room before the event, and they're getting things from those sponsors. So sometimes they get things like food, they get beverages. I mean, if you look at the video of me in Sao Paulo, Brazil, you'll see these people cashing in, not just from, the Jazz for Peace event, but from all the stuff they're getting from the sponsors. You can watch them literally eating food, drinking, champagne, etc., receiving gifts. So that's another thing that they're getting. But just to let you know, it keeps going. The gifts keep coming.
Now, it's, in your case, cryptocurrency as part of a grant award. Is the award to an individual or to an organization?
So the tokens, the cryptocurrency coins, basically would be awarded to the organization, but we do things, we're very personalized at Jazz for Peace. So I don't even know how it's all going to evolve in terms of, there might be an opportunity for VIPs to get tokens. We don't know. There might be an opportunity for, volunteers of the organization. We don't have that. But basically, it's set up for the organization to receive these tokens for free. And what's amazing about that, which I don't know if you're going to get to, you might, if you've read our stuff, is it starts something that's so exciting for me called Trickle Up. And
hang on a second.
You know what Trickle Up
They're
means?
getting a Bitcoin for free.
Not a Bitcoin, Jazz for Peace coin.
Okay, so what is the value of a Jazz for Peace coin that doesn't exist in the real world? It's only in the virtual world, so you can't display it on your bookshelf.
Exactly. So here's our plan. Okay, our plan is first and foremost to distribute a large amount of these coins for free to the outstanding causes and the needy and those that the outstanding causes are serving. Okay.
Great.
And this
but
is
what's
what I want.
the value of the coin? What do you get for the coin?
Okay. Right. That will be decided upon by the marketplace. That's already decided according to what they've told us. We've had outstanding causes tell us we can now, without you even doing an ICO, which is an initial coin offering, without the coin even trading on an exchange, they say we can use this coin. If you can get us these coins now, we can already use these to get things from let's say someone needs a philanthropic service, okay? And they contact somebody. And that person says, yeah, I can help you, but I'm not really all that interested. I got a lot on my plate. There's other organizations contacting me too. Now this organization says, hey, we can offer you, if you will help us, and we really need help right now with this philanthropic service, we can offer you a certain amount of Jazz for Peace coins as a gift to you for free in return for your volunteer service. Now the person reads and watches videos of Jazz for Peace. Well, who's Jazz for Peace? Well, if he doesn't know already, he can read about the 20 years of things we've been doing, and he can watch the videos, and he can see that we have not only kept, but we have significantly overachieved on the promises that we have made in our 20-year history. Okay.
I have to stop you. I have to stop you because this you lost me. When you give someone a grant, when you give someone an award, it's not a trophy. All right.
Correct.
That's a prize.
Correct.
You're saying you're giving them an award, which traditionally means money, cash. All right. Well, not cash, a check. All right.
Right.
You keep on saying that the Jazz for Peace coin is free.
Correct.
So
we're giving that to them for free.
You anything to create this Jazz for Peace coin, and the person doesn't have to, is being gifted this coin. How does the coin obtain a value? Because what you wrote in your application was, find out how Jazz for Peace can significantly increase your funding in the near term, as well as multiply it many times over in the long term. You lost me. I don't get it.
Right. That's only because, Bruce, I have not finished.
Okay.
All right, you got to let me finish. If you want to,
I'll let you finish.
if you want to get that value, okay, you have to, because you're not going to get it from what I just said at all. You've got to
Okay.
let me get to the end of the story, and I'll try to make it as short as I can. All right, that person now agrees to this service and says, "Wait a minute, I'd like to help you out, and you're going to give me these coins, and I'm reading about how these coins are worth value, that what the value of certain coins have become. There's no guarantee for me, but I'm going to take a chance on this, and I'm going to give you that ride from Nairobi to Mombasa that you need to reach those people or cart those goods or do that service." Okay. So that organization right there, I'm giving you, Bruce, the worst case scenario, not the best. I'm giving you the worst, okay? The worst case scenario, which is what organizations have told us right now, that they can obtain services like that they need with these coins that they otherwise might not have obtained. And here's why, because the person who's giving that person that service, okay, he realizes that in the very worst case scenario, okay, under this set of circumstances, they would be doing a good deed for the needy and receiving a handful of worthless coins. It's the worst case scenario. While in the very best case scenario, okay, they would be doing a good deed for the needy and receiving coins that may possibly turn out to be more valuable than all of the philanthropic work that they will ever do in their entire lifetime if the coin was to appreciate in value through the marketplace, through the trading, and when it's listed on exchanges, et cetera, at some point in the future.
I still don't understand how it has any monetary value.
Well, look at the price of Bitcoin. Just type in your computer Bitcoin and it'll show the monetary value.
But a Bitcoin, when you purchased a Bitcoin, you said it yourself at the beginning,
right?
The Bitcoin cost $1.
At one point.
At one point, okay?
Yeah.
Your Bitcoin costs nothing.
That's right. In order to create a trickle-up economy, we need to give these tokens away to the needy before they rise in value. We're not going to wait 12 years for the coins to become worth some amount of money and then give them away. That's not our strategy. Our strategy is trickle up. Instead of you give money to Wall Street, instead of Wall Street gets all the money, and then you hope and pray at the bottom of the food chain that you get some of it. Okay, let's say you want to put on a convention for climate awareness. Okay, you've got to go to ExxonMobil and you've got to sit down with them and say, listen, will you guys give me money? I will list your organization in a good light, and that's the value for you to give me money so I can put on a climate awareness convention. Okay, instead they can put on that climate awareness convention using partially the many things from a Jazz for Peace grant, not just coins. I mean, Jazz for Peace didn't have any coin, okay, these 850 awards already, of which the testimonials are listed. And you should not be getting involved with Jazz for Peace for our coin. I mean, should be the reason. You should be looking at what all of the other organizations got involved for and what they've gained from it. But this is in addition to everything that we already offer: funds, publicity and awareness, new and prestigious supporters, all of the types of things that are listed on that empowerment tree.
Okay, I readily admit I don't understand what you're talking about, all right? But
okay,
the way I see it, you are giving a coin that has an anticipated monetary value to someone, all right? So how does the IRS come into play with this?
Well, right now, there's no monetary value for the IRS to value the coin. But yes, I mean, if let's say they hold these coins and the coins become worth a large amount of money, okay, then obviously that will be income that they would need to, you know what I mean? I'm not their tax consultant, but they would want to talk to their tax consultant if the coins were to appreciate in value.
Yeah. It sounds to me like the tokens represent a barter system. You have a nonprofit that needs a service. In exchange for the service, let's just say you used Habitat for Humanity, okay? Habitat for Humanity since it's in Georgia, let's say in Atlanta, is building a house and they need a painter. So the painter is willing to volunteer his or her time to go and paint the house. Habitat for Humanity wants to reward the painter, so they give that person a Jazz for Peace token and explain to him or her that sometime in the future, it may have some monetary value.
That is the low. I'm giving you the lowest, worst case scenario.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
So I understand the lowest.
I'm starting at the worst case scenario. Yeah, you understand the worst case scenario,
so I understand
which already is value.
Okay. So I understand the worst case scenario.
Right.
Let's try in the few minutes we have left for you to explain to me the best case scenario.
Okay. So before I even explain the best case scenario, one thing I should understand is, I should make sure you understand, is that the day you'll understand Jazz for Peace fully, and this is with everyone we've worked with for 20 years, is the day that you actually participate in an event, because Jazz for Peace started out as the music, and without the music, we would be nowhere. Jazz is, our country's greatest gift to the world. It's an art form that has a history of having a profoundly positive effect on people. So when you start with something like the art form of jazz, now you've really got a foundation to build on. So it's really the music that you can never remove, and you can never understand Jazz for Peace without experiencing the actual music of Jazz for Peace, or the actual music of jazz that really is the reason for all of our success. But now let's go to the best case scenario. The best case scenario, okay, let's say the world takes a look at what we're doing and says, hey, wait a minute. Trickle up works. You give the money to the outstanding causes, or the currency. You give a currency outstanding causes, and they're healing our world, rather than waiting for oil companies and all these other people to give a little bit of their billions and trillions to them. Okay, instead of waiting around and not getting that money, they're all needy, they're all not getting enough, they're all deserving, and the problems that we have are multiplying. These people now start healing our nation, healing our world, healing our people, cleaning our air, cleaning our rivers, cleaning our oceans, doing the good deeds that are in their mission statement that they can't do because they don't have the funds. And the public says, wait a minute, I'm gonna buy some of these coins on the market, on the exchange. I want to be a part of this. I'm going to play a role in this just by getting involved in the exchanges, and the value goes up. Let's say the value of a Jazz for Peace coin, because of its philanthropic intrinsicness, okay, reaches the amount of a Bitcoin, okay? Now you've got people that didn't spend their coins, they still have some, that are worth, let's say today's price of Bitcoin, $44,000 each. Let's say someone who we gave 1,000 of those to only spent 800. Now they've got 200 coins worth $44,000 each. That is going to make a huge difference. Not forget about what it's already done. The rest of their future has been changed. Their lives have been changed. It's a game changer.
Okay. So we've got the worst case. We've got the best case, but what we don't have,
that's the best case.
What we don't have, sadly, is time. So,
yeah. But I just want to say one more thing. I just want to say one more sentence. Yeah, that last sentence is, Jazz for Peace has always been, people say, too good to be true. And you can go to jazzforpeace.org/too-good-to-be-true.pdf and read, our response to that. What could be too good to be true, Bruce, is that we cannot do this on our own. the people who want trickle up have to participate. So it would be too good to be true if we don't get that participation. You see what I mean? We've created this, but we can't do it all our own. The people that the bottom up, the trickle up, it takes a partnership with those who believe that could be a sustainable way forward.
I understand, I think.
Okay.
And what I want to do, and I'm failing at miserably, is to put up a slide with your contact information. There we go. And I'll just share. So I want to thank you for having come on. I apologize for my ignorance and slowness in comprehending what you're obviously extremely passionate about.
I appreciate that, actually.
Is this the best way for people to get in touch?
It is.
All righty. Well, Rick, I thank you profusely and sincerely. And as always, I want to thank our viewers. I'm Bruce Hurwitz. I wish everyone a safe and good day.